So I remember taking a knife and I told him, this is going to be the last time you're going to hit me. After all that, I dragged myself to the hospital. And my father was like, why did you speak? And I told my father, if you dare speak, I am dying. We will meet, and if it is war you want, we will go for that war. Do you want to fight? The last time he actually fought me and called me a dead flower, I intentionally walked with a hammer. You were ready. I was very ready. I went to work with the hammer and came back home because I knew I only had one route to go back home. And I have to meet this man. And he knew so well it's at the end of the month. So he waited for me. It was a border stage. There was a corner I was supposed to go so that I go back home, and he attacked me. And I called him 3 times and I told him, today I want to teach you manners. Just by good luck, I managed to put him down and he didn't like it. So when he woke up, he told me, kwenda huko unajifanya, you're just a dead flower. Did I start something in you? Did I tell you I'm poetic? Yeah, so you don't tell a poetic person anything, because I took my time and imagined what a dead flower looks like. Yeah. And I carried that for the longest time ever. I think until now, I love flowers, but they look so good on a tree or when they're growing. When you give it to me and then it dies, what do you mean? Yeah. Is it affirming to me that this is who I am? So I love them when they're on a tree. I can actually water them, take pictures. They look good on my phone. But no, don't give me flowers. They'll die. They'll... So when he told me those words, the next month I was married. Yeah. Me, that flower, I want to show you actually that where. I actually want to show you someone can actually marry me. By that time I was 22, 21, 22. I'm in a second marriage, and that is when I'm like, no, Pauline, this is just not working for you. And the time we were separating with this man, I actually apologized. I was like, I feel like I've not done any favor to you. Because by that time, I was starting to get conscious of myself. Yeah, there is a second child already involved, but I still felt I am not doing good to myself. Yeah. And me harming myself, I am even harming people around me. Yeah. So this is one of the relationships that I walked out with a mutual understanding that this can't happen, not because I hate you, but no, our dreams are not just aligning. Yeah, our dreams are not aligning. Yeah. And I remember that was the first relationship I ever spoke for myself. Because there was a day he was so angry and he came and he just lifted his hands, and when I held his hand, I told him, let this be the last time and the first and the last time you ever think of hitting a woman, not even Pauline. Don't you ever think about it. And after a month, I told him, before it just gets to worse, let's go our separate ways. Yeah. And, I take care of my children. You just go live your own life. Yeah. But I would say, life for me from 19, I turned 30 this year. And 19 to 29, I sat down and I remember calling my mom on my birthday, and I asked her, Mom, what did I do for the last 10 years of my life? Because I can't really put it down. A part of me felt so wasted. A part of me felt so used. A part of me felt, yes, you've done so much. But I keep saying that if someone created a space that we've created in Rebirth of a Queen, my life will be different. I would be taught better ways of bouncing back, because I knew bouncing back to pain and more pain. Yeah.
Because instead of finding a different path after leaving the first marriage, you went into a second one.
Yes, because I was actually taking revenge.
You're taking revenge. Yeah.
With my own self. With my own life.
Your own life.
Yeah.
So how long did the second marriage last?
Not more than a year. Yeah. Not more than a year.
You quickly realized that This was not
me. This was not it. Yeah. This was not it. As early as, the baby was 8 days old when you were separating. Like this, no, this is actually not what I deserve. And I still didn't know what I deserved at that point. But I was like, no, this is not it. Yeah.
I don't know what I want, but this is not it.
This is not it. Yeah. And I've always been telling myself that there is a version of me that I'm really so excited to ever get to that version. But the good thing is that I always know what I don't want.
Yeah.
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 Like when it comes to abuse, that is always very clear. And sometimes I will see abuse in forms that my father will tell me, your joggies are a lot. So Pauline, that is abuse. Yeah. Why would you lift a finger? Why would you actually quarrel a waitress and we're on a date? What's the difference between that waitress and me?
There's no difference.
There's no difference. So the fact that you actually quarreled, the fact that you actually banged the table on a waitress, I'm not different.
Exactly. But that happened to you too.
Yes. That is how it starts. I've been in a marriage where it just started with a slap or with me being told how my body is not. And you're a child, you've just given birth. You don't even understand what is happening in your body. I stopped feeling my body at the age of 16. It took me so long to ever take a mirror. I don't even know how that body looks like. And you're here telling me at the age of 19, after I've just given birth, that you look fat. Hello. I think right now is when I cannot even tolerate that. I cannot even, sometimes I say I cannot even tolerate someone pointing a finger at me. Why? No. Why are you pointing a finger at me? Why are you pointing your fingers at? No, clean. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the second marriage, you decide to go back home again?
I never went back home. I went and found a space and rented and lived. I always knew by the time I was leaving house at 19, our house home at 19, I always knew I'm never going back.
Yeah.
I'm a firstborn. That is what I used to tell myself. We are supposed to protect people. I've taken care of my siblings from the time I was 19. So I knew going back home is actually stressing my mom. So no going back home.
Yeah. So, sorry. So how do things play out after you've decided to move out and rent your own place?
So when I was 23, by the time I was 19, I was already doing peer education. I really, even in me being in abuse, I still loved seeing other women and girls thrive. So I would always find a space to just sit down and talk to girls, talk to women. And by the time I was walking out of the second marriage, I walked out of the second marriage and I walked out of a job and told myself I'm going back to school because someone actually sponsored my education to go and study journalism. And I knew that what I wanted was to create a space for girls to heal. So I went back to Kibra and I started a foundation where I was teaching girls modeling. I love being on the runway. That is always one of my safe space. Because, in the runway is where I remind myself that, Pauline, you're a queen. This is your moment. This life is a runway. So I used to do that with girls when I was 23. And every time I would see a 13-year-old self, I would forgive her. Because it took me time to forgive my 13-year-old self for actually hating on someone that was actually a victim of circumstances. And I enjoyed that work for me. Where when I was 23 is the first time I spoke my story, is the first time I told my mom about it. It's the first time I just came out. And I just came out and I was like, this is not a shame that I need to carry.
Yeah.
This is not something that I took myself into. This is something that found me and changed my life forever. So from that time, day by day, I started just taking the steps to improve. It's weirdly to improve another person's life.
Yeah.
To just make sure another person is safe. To just make sure a girl knows that they're beautiful. I joke a lot and tell people that my mom never told me I am beautiful. So I was told I am beautiful by the man who married me. Yeah, when I was 18, 19. That is the man who told me I'm beautiful. And it's not that my mom didn't see I'm beautiful, but she bought me gifts. She bought me nice things. My father gave me everything that I want. But the first person who actually mentioned it and told me I'm beautiful, okay, sawa. Wewe ndio kusema, sasa ndio kusema, even my mother, wewe ndio kusema. So I used to just teach girls how to affirm to themselves that they are beautiful. When I was 23 is when I started making a good relationship with the mirror, looking at myself in the mirror and writing something about myself and teaching girls to do that. Yeah.
And I think doing that at 23, a lot of 23-year-olds don't think about things like that. Yeah. Yeah. They think about handbags, the new shoes. So I think it was amazing that at 23 you had the mind to help other girls.
At 23, I was actually paying university school fees for my sister.
Wow.
So I think life has never given me an opportunity to be a child. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember life giving me an opportunity to be a child, because even the moments where I go to my father and I'm crying and things are not working, after crying I'll be like, oh dad, ilikuwa na hii, chukua, go buy lunch. Yeah. So I've never had an opportunity to be a child. There was a day we were in a conference and I told someone that one of the greatest traumas that I have is allow anyone else pay rent for me. Because when I was chased away from a house, one of my coping mechanisms is to make sure, even when I'm in a relationship, I'm done paying rent. Because what do you mean you'll pay and then one day you wake up and tell me, no, please, let me pay. Let me pay. At least this is my bargaining power. So just it has taken me a lot of steps to just even come back to myself and tell myself, okay, I'm one person who really struggles to actually ask for help. And I have a friend who, when I ask for help, she does not rest. Like, umesema unahitaji? Right now. Because they know this one, she's dying. Yeah. This one is, if we leave her the next minute, when I tell her that I have this headache and no, I am not feeling okay, she'll be in my house. Tunaenda hospitali. Because they know by the time I'm telling them I have a headache, a part of me is actually not functioning. Yeah. I would say it's been a journey. It's been a journey of me just finding myself, learning and naming the triggers that I have and the traumas that I've gone through, and actually looking for a better coping mechanism. And something that I keep learning every day is allowing people to be part of my healing journey and trusting people again. Yeah.
Which is amazing. Yeah. And how did you get to going back to the time when you were 23? You're 30 now. You've built something amazing. I don't even want to say anything about it. I want you to talk about it. But how was the healing journey? How has the healing journey been to the point where now you're holding space properly for other women and girls?
Let me say, it's me with my poetry. In 2018, July, I was writing a poem to the 16-year-old Pauline, and I was forgiving Pauline. I can't remember what really happened or what really pushed me that year, but I was just handling so much, and I was writing a suicide note and a forgiveness letter to myself, because I was telling myself, you cannot die without forgiving yourself. So I wrote the suicide note, and then I wrote a forgiveness letter to myself. And I was addressing the 16-year-old, and I was telling her not to carry the burden of feeling like she didn't speak up on time. And you see, while I was writing the poetry, and I wrote, and this is the rebirth of a queen journey. And for a moment, I was like, yeah, this needs to be a rebirth, Pauline. A part of you has to die for this other part to survive. And in 2018, I spoke to my friends, I was like, we are not dying right now. So took that suicide note, put it in the middle of a book, and I was like, let's try and read. And I approached two of my friends and I told them, I want to open a shelter. And I know I am not okay right now, but I want other girls not to go through what I have gone through. And that meant healing when you have to face your perpetrators every single day. It's not one of the easiest things.
It's not.
You will move and then they'll take you back. And then they'll remind you. I tell people when I used to meet the perpetrators, they used to make me feel so vulnerable, so useless and helpless. Because what do you mean this person made you stay silent for 6 years, 7 years? What was so wrong with you? I used to judge myself a lot. So for me, when I approached my friends, the dream was just to create a space for girls and young women to heal, for them to actually share their story, and no one is looking at them like, but you're mouthy, but you used to wear short dresses, but you're the problem. I wanted to create a space for girls and young women to speak their stories, and no one is there to judge them. So that is how Rebirth of a Queen was born, to create that space for survivors. And it was 2018 getting to 2019. By the time we're in 2019, December, we have COVID. And that is when I'm getting the first case. During COVID, we're in a curfew and I'm being called. I had moved already to Kajiado, and I am getting a call that. And sometimes I say it was so triggering. The first rescue I did was so triggering because I almost got killed on the road by the police. I got a call. It was a 13-year-old. What do you mean 13? I was like, Pauline, this is not stopping. 13-year-old. I went to Kibra, took the girl, and I told the mother, figure out what you want to do with the perpetrator. But this girl, we're going to protect her.
Give me the girl.
Give me the girl. Took her for medication, made sure she went through counselling, and she moved into my house. My house was the first shelter. And that's how we've grown 6 years down the line. We've rescued more than 250 girls and young women.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing.
Girls who sometimes when I meet them, let me say 80% of them, I'm the first contact they meet. And so initially I used to really listen to their stories and I would get drained. So these days, please give me the case. Give me the case. Just write it down. I won't even read it because I remind the girls every day in the shelter that I do not want you to be defined with what you've gone through. You're in Rebirth of a Queen to rewrite your story. That is what life has taught you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes when you hear so much, I've gone through a lot of phases with Rebirth of a Queen. There are days where I lost trust completely and hope in humanity. There are days I'll be like, but there are good people that still exists. And yes, we can create that space where people are good, where people can support one another. It's been a lot of phases through Rebirth of a Queen. I started Rebirth of a Queen when I had not even thought of anything people call healing. No, I just wanted a space for girls and young women. Number one, to be away from communities that have abused them, to just grow in a different community where no one knows you. Let's start with that. No one knows you. No one knows your story. So this gives you an opportunity to just rewrite that story. Yeah.
And there's no re-victimization or anything, or people judging you for one or this, or judging you for that, done that.
Because like I have seen girls coming and the first thing they apologize for being defiled. They actually apologize. They think it's their mistake. And I tell them it is okay for you to think like this because who taught you anyway? Who taught you a different narrative? This is the narrative you've grown up with. when you're being told it is your mistake for not dressing up well. Yeah.
And Akinyi, do you know that for most, especially children under the age of 10, in most cases, the first course of action for the parent is usually to beat the child.
Yeah.
And ask the child, ulikuwa nafanya nini hapo? Yeah. So it's no shocker that a child would come to the shelter and they apologize.
They apologize
for being abused.
Yes. So when you tell them that it was not your mistake, it's like you're changing the narrative completely, and so many times you face resistance because they'll be like, we hear about this and then people abandon us. But what we've done through the highs and the lows the last 6 years is to ensure, if there's one thing we have done in Rebirth of a Queen, is to remain consistent with what we say.
Yes.
With reminding survivors that no, it was not you. It is something that was done to you. You did not do it to yourself. So the reason why you have the power to heal, it's because you didn't take yourself. So you have the power to heal yourself. It's always a very tough journey, especially when you're handling a child who's 13.
It's tough.
And you're telling them that it was not your mistake. And they know so well it was their mistake. And they actually ran away from home because it is an uncle who defiled them. And now the child they're carrying has to be killed and she has to be excommunicated because it is Chira, as they call it.
Yeah.
But no one ever looks at the uncle who's the perpetrator and says, but you're the one who needs to be excommunicated. You're the one who needs to take care of this child. Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear things like, msichana alikuwa anakimbia tu na wanaume.
Yes.
Or sijui siku hizi sijui ameanza kusalimiana na vijana. When really, that is the person that needs protection.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. I think I've gone through a phase where I became completely numb. That sometimes when you tell me a case, it's like another story, another very good story. It hits me days later. Wait, what did you people say happened? It's not really hitting my head because you're so used. Sometimes in a week you get more than 10 cases, or you lost count, and you're like, okay, so I'm done. There are days I go back to my house and I'm like, God, you know what? I'm done. I think the last time I prayed, I told you this shouldn't happen. So when it keeps happening, I feel like you're not answering my prayer. So what is really happening? Because this is getting cruel. It's getting cruel day after day.
Yeah. You feel like things are not getting better.
Things are not just getting better. And I think for me, the worst case I've handled was a case of a boy who was defiled. For me, it just broke me because it reminded me of how as a community we've protected perpetrators and now they're eating their own.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It hurt me to the core when I got that case. It just hurt me because I imagined this boy will grow up being told that you don't cry, you're a man.
Yeah,
you don't talk about it, you're a man. It hurt me. I think that was a case that actually took me for therapy. That was the first time because I was like, I was taking this boy to Nairobi Women's and I lashed out anger to the medic and I told the medic he was a man. If it will be a girl, you will say she was dressed up badly. I want you to tell me if this boy was dressed up badly. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me that because you are the same people who victimize girls. Now I want you to give me an answer.
Yeah.
I was taken straight for therapy. Like, this one, she will fight here. Because it brought so much anger. As a society, we've really empowered perpetrators. We've empowered them. We give them titles. We give them reasons. So when we're in a community and we say, this girl was defiled because she was in a short dress, you're telling the perpetrator, it is okay. Whatever you're doing is wrong.
As long as she's just like this, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Yeah, she's mouthy. Yeah, punish her for being mouthy. she's this way, you do whatever you want. We will protect you as a community, as a family, we will protect you. You're not the problem, it is the girl. It is not you.
It's not you.
It really, sometimes it annoys me that as a community, there are so many things that are happening, but we don't address it.
Yeah.
We don't really address it. And some of the lessons that I've learned running a shelter and a space for survivors is that we don't actually create sustainable solutions for any social issue. It's a cycle. A girl comes to the shelter, 3 months down the line, they're back home. Then they went to the same abuse because we've done nothing to the society. They're still going back to a society that believes rape is okay, domestic abuse is okay, family affair, even when someone is dying, is not something that we're supposed to be party into. Yeah.
And it begins within the family units where one person is covering for the other uncle because atutaki aibu kwa familia. Like that is the most basic ways where we could, solve some of these issues, and where we could teach people that it's not okay to defile children, but instead we are covering for them.
Because it's a religious family.
Yeah.
You need to protect it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which begs the question, which religion is this where we are abusing children?
Sometimes I ask that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in spaces, I ask people, especially religious leaders, I tell them, when I read the Bible, God is very loving. I want you people to tell me what kind of a God you preach.
Yeah.
Because the God that I know does not even tolerate abuse. The God that I know does not tolerate vulnerable people being taken advantage of. So, what God is this that we are preaching out here?
Yeah.
That we will abuse someone in a prayer space and then we'll feel nothing. The next Sunday I'll walk in a pulpit and feel so holy, and I'm the one who's supposed to place my hand on people, and I'm abusing someone back at home, or I'm abusing someone in the church. Where is the safe space?
Where is the safe space? And you've just reminded me of the clip that was going around of that one preacher who said they had gang abused someone and it's all forgiven.
I watched that clip more than 10 times.
Yeah.
And as a survivor, I felt annoyed, actually. And sometimes I keep asking myself, how do people just sit down and listen to such? Because I wouldn't.
Like, how do you even go back to that church the following Sunday and let that man who has not taken accountability for what he did preach to you?
I think going back is extreme. I would ask, how do you even let the service end? Or how do you let that person finish that statement?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
And the thing that annoyed me the most is how people came to social media to defend the guy and say that, no, he's a child man. Hey, if he's truly remorseful for what he did, we want to see him in committee. But no one is saying anything about that.
No, we are not ready for such conversations.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a changed man and you're not supposed to touch them.
To touch the anointed, yeah. Well, so other than the birth of the Rebirth of a Queen, what other steps did you take towards healing?
Personally, for me, healing, sometimes I don't even have a word for my healing journey, because today we're here, the next time we're triggered, we are somewhere else.
Yeah.
Today we're here, you go on social media, you see something and it takes you back. And also just founding an organization that actually 24/7, this is what you deal with.
Yes.
Every single time. These figures everywhere, all over. This is what you deal with. It has not been easy for me to actually heal. But sometimes I just remind myself that where I am right now, this life is beyond Pauline. This life is now a collective life that we need to build a community for people to just thrive.
Yes.
I'm still, I still have that naivety that one day the world is going to be safe for people. The workspace is going to be safe for women to work without being harassed or abused. I always have that belief, and that is a dream that I keep holding with me. It really helps me to heal, because I'm like, let me work so hard on myself so that we're able to co-create this kind of a world where women, girls, and young people, especially who are coming from the vulnerable community, are able to actually thrive in their workspace. Rebirth of a Queen for the last 6 years has really transitioned. We were just a shelter. Then right now we're a skills training center and a shelter. And this has taught me, even the culture that we build in the organization, I keep reminding the team that we have right now to be very empathetic and to co-create. I will never do anything without sitting down with the girls in the shelter and talk to them, because I stopped creating programs for people. My healing journey is different from any other person's healing journey in the shelter. And anytime I see the girls saying that they want to be like Mom Pauline, I'm always very scared, because I'm like, you need to have your own path, because mine is not one of the best. Mine is Pauline. I have my own limitations. It's Pauline. I have my own triggers. It's Pauline. There are things I'm still dealing with that you don't get to see it because you see me as Mom Pauline.
Yes.
So we've really transitioned from just being a shelter where we didn't really need so much apart from food, to now there was education. And so far until today we are taking 22 girls in school, and
In high school.
That's
high
school in work. Yeah, is it called senior school for senior?
It is confusing for me. That's a lot. I'm confused as well.
It's senior school, I know the word, yeah. So, and for the skills training center, now that we're involving the community, and these are always moments for us to create awareness to the community, to the young people that come to our training center. Especially, we target the young people from the Maasai community. And whenever we sit with them down every Friday when we are doing SRHR, sexual reproductive health, and tell them and give them responsibilities to actually be part of the change makers in their community, to unlearn cultures that are not working anymore and learn cultures that are actually going to create community where people collectively heal and support one another. It has been I'll call it a very beautiful transition. This year during this period, I say that the last 6 years, Rebirth of a Queen has thrived in resilience, consistency, and empathy. And moving forward, I'm just hoping that Rebirth of a Queen is going to thrive in structure, system, and a community, where now we will have to involve the community to support the girls in the shelter heal, to support the young people in the community actually find these opportunities and learn and thrive. If one day we can manage to create that community where people can thrive in work, then I think my heart will be peaceful.
And that would be a very powerful place to be as an organization. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are some of the courses or some of the skills that you impart within the Empowerment Center?
So for the Skills Training Center, we have leather work. So apart from just the bags, we do sandal making and shoe making. Then we have IT, content creation, and this was basically created with the girls to allow them tell their own stories. We have fashion and design, and we have branding, graphics and branding, where we do brand merchandise, we brand clothes, and brand businesses. Yeah. And all these programs were created to actually offer dignified and fulfilling work opportunities for survivors. Yeah. This was
It's very beautiful.
It is already hard enough to actually find opportunity in a space where you're not told this is what you need to give.
Yes.
I tell people whenever someone asks me for a date, my mind just gets triggered. And sometimes I remind girls in the shelter that is not how the world is supposed to be. So I'm still dealing with that part of me, but we are hoping to create a world where we will not have to ask for favors from people so that we are giving them job opportunities, but they can actually, because this is my skill, I'm able to make a shoe. Then if I sell it, this is my and money.
Yeah.
If it's not money that someone asks for a favor so that they give me a job that is not well paying. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, because even psychologically, it will change the way the girls think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It will change the way they think about these things. So is the training center open to members of the community?
Yes. So the training center is 70% girls, young women and young people who are survivors of sexual violence and human trafficking. And the 30% is open to the community. But again, we target very vulnerable young people. Yeah. And by vulnerability, we mean a young man who can be trafficked anytime to go and work somewhere else because in their country, they feel like there are no jobs.
There are no jobs.
Yes, there are no opportunities. There are no opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. The fact that you've allocated 70% to such a group of people, I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I think something that has really helped us is, designing programs with the people that we want to target. It's really awakens something in you. You realize, you live in your own world. Even sometimes I say as a survivor, I'll have a lot of biasness that, but you're one, so you can create this program. So creating this program with other people in mind, especially when you create with them in mind and you're there with them, they give you feedback and you're actually creating something that is going to be beneficial to them. And one thing that I hate is ticking boxes, especially when it comes to this work. Sometimes I feel like my mother threatened me. My mother keeps telling me that, this work will give you blessings to your seventh generation. And again, it will give you curses to your seventh generation. Who wants to be cursed? Not me. Not me. Please.
Definitely. No, you should not. It should only give you a blessing.
Yeah. So I keep saying, if it's blessing, please let's do it. What do I do to actually get those blessings? Yeah.
So how long do the survivors stay in their shelter? How is the reintegration process like?
So for the girls or the young women between age 18 to 25, it's 9 months. But again, we always renew it. As I keep saying, the healing journey has no timeline.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you'll do everything, and then after 9 months, you're like, this person cannot even be stable, staying alone.
Yeah.
So even when you rent a house for them, you rent it not far away from the shelter because you have to remind them that you have a community. You still have a community. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing that by the time perhaps they are being reintegrated, they have a skill.
They have a skill. They have a skill. And you're able, what we do is 3 months. The first 3 months when they're in the shelter, it's psychosocial support and you choosing what course you're able to do or you're passionate to do. Right now, we're limited with the courses because sometimes girls come in, I want to do beauty therapy. I want to do baking and pastry. I'm like, yeah, we are getting there one day. But this is what we have at the moment. And this is what we can offer. One of the things that I love about, again, this generation we're working with is the fact that they're flexible.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's okay, Mom Pauline. I wanted to do catering, but I can do fashion. I can look good while cooking. I'm like, yeah, I love that. I love that level of innovation. Actually, you can look good while cooking. So the first 3 months of them choosing and going through psychosocial support, to them getting into the training for 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and then internship, and then now supporting them look for a job opportunity, is now you're integrating them back to start a life outside the shelter. Yeah. Because the goal, one of the dreams that I have is actually to create villages, a group of people who have actually come together to create a community for themselves, instead of having an institution where you keep people.
Yeah.
That is one of the dreams that
And that's a beautiful approach too.
That is one of the dreams that I have, because sometimes it doesn't really help so much when you put them inside a cocoon, because when it comes to shelter, you have your own guidelines. You're not supposed to use a phone. You're not supposed to be out at a certain time. So sometimes when you sit down with them and they give you feedback and they feel like that, this is, Ma'am Pauline, we feel like we're in a prison. A part of you really knows, this is kind of a prison because we are taking so many rights away from you, but we have to protect.
It's necessary.
It's necessary. So the dream is actually to create that community away from the shelter, where they know if I go to Nairobi, for example, if I go to Kileleshwa, there is a certain estate that was actually just created to support girls and young women reintegrate back to the community. And it has protection, it has guidelines, just to help you grow beyond. Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful approach. Thank you. And I know you'll get there.
Yeah. I am so sure.
You're ready. You're ready. As someone said, you're ready overwatching. And you'll get there someday. So I also want to find out what are the structures around the psychosocial support. So do you partner with the organizations that offer that, or do you have residents, counselors, or maybe psychotherapists?
We partner. All this work. I keep telling people this work is a lot. Oh, you cannot do it alone.
It is.
Doing it alone is 1,000 ways to die. Doing it alone, no, you are not alone. You cannot try that. Yeah, so we partner. Most of the work that we do is partnership. Like Rebirth of a Queen does not actually go to the ground and rescue. Cases are referred to us. So when it comes to psychosocial support, again, we partner. Sometimes when it comes to even basic needs in the shelter, we partner.
But that's amazing. Collaboration is key.
Yeah, it is.
Especially for this kind of work.
It is. Because, one of the things that we've realized is Rebirth of a Queen, we are strong at skilling. So when it comes to sheltering, we actually depend on another organization to really support us, strengthen our systems around the shelter, because we are good at skilling, we are good at advocacy, we are good at, creating awareness. And so we depend on another organization to support us when it comes to case management. Or Pauline, the case management document has been updated, just go check. They come and train even the case managers that we have in the shelter of what is new, what is the best practice. So it's a lot of collaborations. Yeah,
which is powerful. Yeah. So Rebirth of a Queen is turning 6. Yes. Tell us about that.
Kuna keki. Kuna keki na funambuzi. Now that we are in Kajiado, we have to remind our ancestors we've done this work for 6 years. So
how do you feel about turning 6?
Just like I said, it's time to allow this baby to find a community.
Absolutely.
It's time for that. It's time for that. 2026 it will be year 7. We're closing year 6 in 2025. And I've held on to Rebirth of a Queen, and I've fought for this dream as if my life depends on it. But moving forward, year 7, one of the things that I've sat down with the team over and over again, and the reason why we're actually doing our anniversary event here, is just to invite the community to be part of this dream. So when someone in the community actually gives 100 shillings, they need to walk out there and say, I made sure Rebirth of a Queen is growing. That is my dream, to have a structure. And when I say structure, it means now to allow other people support me, because I'm the one who's really very close to the girls in the shelter, take care of the girls in the shelter, to be able to allow the girls to grow beyond my limitations. Because, as I said, I'm always very scared when they say they want to be like Mom Pauline. I'm always like, yeah, it feels good, but I want you girls to go beyond me. I want you girls, when it's time for you to go start your own shelters, as some of you dream, don't make the mistakes they have made. So don't walk my path. I want you to have your own path. So in year 7, I'm just going to allow people to be part of this village and support the girls grow, mentor them, walk with them, open dreams and possibilities with them. And systems, it's just us working towards ensuring that, when it's killing, we have a system that we're able to support young people and girls and young women who have gone through abuse sustainably, and the communities, just to allow people to be, to be in. Yeah, I think it's time for me to also allow people to hug me and to take care of me. And yeah, it's time. It's time. Long overdue. It's time. I was asked before if I've ever gone for a leave, and I've never even gone for a vacation. I've never done anything outside Rebirth of a Queen the last 6 years. Never. Even my own children, unfortunately, they call me Mom Pauline, because that is what they're so used to in the shelter. So I want to learn how to, look at Rebirth of a Queen from a distance, and as much as I want to, I'm like, another person is doing that, and they're doing it better. Yeah.
I hope that kuna mtu wa safaris that is watching this, take notes. Now Pauline needs a holiday ASAP. It's
Yeah.
So Pauline, beyond telling these stories, we also want to support.
Sure.
We want to we reach our very wide audience of different people from all walks of life, and coming together to support a cause for the collective good is always a good idea. So how can anyone watching this or someone watching this support Rebirth of a Queen?
Thank you for that. So the immediate thing, we are having the 6th year anniversary stroke fundraiser event in December 13th. And in our wish lists, one of the biggest desires that we have is to set up our own space. Renting a space for anything is very expensive. So we're intending to set up our own skill training center in our space, and we're looking towards getting 7 containers, so that we will design classrooms or training centers and a space for young women to work with the containers. So we're looking for 7 containers, and also something else, as I said, I am looking for people to be part of this village. So if there's anyone who's willing to work with the girls, doesn't need to be financially, but for the girls to just know that, I have someone who's not a journalist like Mom Pauline, who's a doctor. So because I want to be a doctor when I grow up, I can call them and ask them, simple things as, what subjects do you think I need to choose? Where can I improve? So that the girls can have their own village and their people that can support them and hold their hands. So those are our top 2 needs. And we're also inviting people for our anniversary on 13th December 2025. We're going to have works.
We'll be there. Yeah. So if I'm getting you rhymes, we are looking at a cocktail of professionals who can mentor and inspire this girl.
Yes.
To deviate from only wanting to be like Mom Pauline.
Yeah, all of them, most of them. I even discourage them and tell them how journalism is not really a good career because I do not want them to be journalists like me. Yeah, no, please have another life. Please, yeah. So just having that cocktail of mentorship, and also, I will say also as a young woman, sometimes it's not also to take away the wisdom that I have as a young woman. But sometimes you need that voice, someone to just come, and when they speak, everything is calm. Because sometimes you speak to them in the shelter and they're like, you're just 30.
Yeah.
You've not seen life. You've not seen life? You've not really seen life. Someone police, you've seen life. I've seen life. But they'll be like, hey, Mom, Pauline, you're just 30. You've not seen life, yeah. So just to have that cocktail of people supporting, it's really important.
It's important
for them, for the girl.
It's important. It's important for us. Even at my age, I still want to see someone doing it.
Yeah, yes. You want to see someone doing it. Yeah, and so that you don't end up making the mistakes.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself, if one day I get someone else who wants to start a shelter, I would be an open book to them. I'll allow them to learn. I'll tell them the truth. I'll tell them this is not it. It's very fulfilling. It's great, but sometimes 70% of your time you just want to close the shelter. I tell them I will close this shelter and you'll see me next to Larry Madeo in CNN. I'm a journalist, for God's sake. You will see me next, or you'll open CNN and I'll be like, good evening, my name is Pauline Akinyi, reporting live from Canada, and this is CNN. Yeah, so most of the time we actually want to do that, but there's always that one thing that holds you back. So just getting even people who we can actually look up to them, it will be amazing for us. Yeah.
And I think it's a great sacrifice. Just like I was telling you before, you were off camera. I think it's a great sacrifice. Not so many people can do whatever you do. Yeah. And may God expand your territories.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And bless you immensely to the 10th generation.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because not everyone can do this. Yeah. It takes a lot of sacrifice. The fact that you've even abandoned your career.
Yeah.
To do this.
And I hope one day I'll go back.
And may those doors open when it's time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, how can people reach you?
Maybe through our social media, Rebirth of a Queen, but also our official number. Yeah.
Could you spell it out?
0720 339 204.
Say that again.
0720 339 204. That is the official Rebirth of a Queen number.
Yes. So feel free to follow them on the social media or reach them directly on the number that she has shared. It's been such an honor having you on Voices at the Edge.
Thank you.
And for you to tell your story and give hope. It's been the conversation has been great.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you for allowing me to feel safe. Sometimes it takes strength for us to share.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching this to the end. If you've not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe and be part of our social media community. We go by Voices at the Edge on all social media platforms. Kindly be part of our community and see you on the next episode.